Final score, Kings win it 125-116. LeBron James leading all scorers in the game with 34 points. It is his 12th consecutive game of 25 or more. 7 boards and 6 assists to go with it, guys, but not enough.
No, not enough at all. I mean, they came back, but it was too late. Got it to close. But before they even got it to close, they weren't in this game. And for me, and you can give that type of energy at the end of ball games. This is a young team other than maybe LeBron that's out on the floor now. I don't see the sense of urgency until end of games for the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's the one point I look at. I mean, some of these young guys, Malik Monk is playing well, but the other guys, I got to see, if I'm the coaching staff, I got to see people flying around, playing extremely
defensively,
hard.
You're saying, because the urgency has to come on the defensive end.
Not offense.
But the Lakers can't play like this with Russ. Russ was 2 for 14. He only had 1 turnover. And I think he's letting all this talk about his turnovers get into his head. He wasn't aggressive last few games. They can't win games. Look, I know he needs to cut down the turnover. But Russ playing the way he's playing, they can't win. And he can't play this way. 2 for 14, 38 minutes. I mean, normally in 38 minutes, Russ fill up the stat sheet. He's had rabbit ears. He's been listening to too much chatter. At the end of the day, you are a Hall of Famer. You've done something no one else has ever done, average a triple-double, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 or 5 times. I keep forgetting. If you're going to fall on your sword, go down the way you go down, right? He can't play this way. He's playing too conservative. He's got to let it go. Look, when you have Russ, you're going to have to live with a few turnovers.
But I also think...
But he can't play this way.
Your point is, and I know you would do this, let him still be aggressive.
Yeah.
But I'm posting him up.
Yes, just alter it a little bit. You've been saying that all year.
And I'm saying, I'm going to you, Russ, and get me buckets, get me assists, get me rebounds when you miss it.
How many point guards can guard him 10 feet in? None.
Not a lot.
He's too physical. And guess what else happens? To your point. If you trap him, he's a point guard. He can pass out double team. And he's 6'4".
Right. He can see
I
the
agree with
pass, too.
Smitty, man. Because he can't play this way.
No.
38 minutes in this production because he's trying too hard not to turn the ball over. He's thinking he's not playing and reacting.
And I think down in the post is 2 things. He won't turn it over as much. It's harder. I think also it collapses the defense.
Yeah.
You want to collapse the defense, whether it's off the bounce. You want to get the ball in the paint for easier 3-point shots. And then I think it keeps him engaged. When we slow down and we don't run and get a layup in early offense or a break, I'm throwing it to you in the post every other trip and let you play out of the post.
Man, put Reeves in the corner, put LeBron at the top, let Malik Monk enter the ball to him off of the UCLA cut down the post. Who you going to trap with? Now I got my 3 best 3-point shooters standing out there spotted up and put Dwight Howard on the backside in case you come to clean up on the offensive glass. Now let's go play basketball. I would play with that type of team playing that way. See, it's not the players, to Smitty's point. It's how you're using them, right? You can't use this team a traditional way. Russ can't play that way, not with this group. You got to figure another way to use him and let him be effective. But this way, he can't play this way. He's thinking too much.
We will see what happens as they continue to evolve. Meanwhile, on the other end of that, with the Kings, they played well. They won this game. We're going to have a chance to hear from their backcourt because they stopped to chat after the game. Let's listen.
All right, De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton joining us right now. Victorious night, guys, here at Golden One. What does it mean, first of all, to snap that 5-game losing streak and do it against a team like the Lakers here at home?
I mean, it's definitely great. You know, you never want to get on a skid like that, especially, you know, the position that we're in. But it's always great to get a win, especially at home. You know how it is here. You know, when LA comes in, you know, that's a must-win game no matter where you are in the standings. So it's definitely great to get that win.
The one thing, you guys, that has stuck out the most to me over the last 2 games is the consistency in terms of not just effort, but the way that you guys have played at both ends. And you two have been kind of predominantly that on the defensive end, just stepping up to that challenge. Can you talk, Tyrese, about how you guys have approached defensively the last 2 games after that disappointing loss in Portland?
Yeah, I mean, we just want to play the right way. I thought in Portland we didn't play the right way, and, you know, that's why, you know, the result is what it was. But the last 2 games, I felt like we played the right way. And, you know, when you play the game the right way, the basketball gods reward you. So as long as we keep playing the same way, make or miss, keep defending, keep playing with energy, good things happen.
Hey, De'Aaron, tell us about that final sequence down the stretch. You ended up with 29 points, 4 assists. Coming out of a couple of timeouts, you got some nice action off the elbow action. Harrison Barnes gives it to you. You get to the cup, and then after that, it was a nice short pull-up. You were in a nice groove down the stretch when it counted.
Oh, man, it's just being ready to, step up to the plate. When my number's called. My teammates definitely trust me. Like I said before, they trust me to make plays down the stretch. And we did that. So it's definitely great to grind out a win like this.
I've got to ask you both the same question, and Ty, I'll start with your answer. Obviously, both of you matching up against former college teammates today. A, what is that like? And B, is it even sweeter to be able to turn around and look at the win column?
Yeah, for sure. At least with me and Taylor, it's something we've always talked about. So they used to talk about it at Kentucky. So it's always fun to, see your guys, compete against them. And, of course, it feels better when you win. So it's always fun.
I ain't gonna lie, we was talking about it in high school. But yeah, it's always great, and man, I'm so happy for League because, he's playing extremely well right now, and he played well tonight. But obviously, it's sweet that he played well, not sweet that I was guarding him while he was playing well.
Right.
But it's better that we got the win. So,
guys, last thing, each of you, how do you bottle what happened tonight on the floor and keep that kind of momentum and that kind of vibe moving forward now?
Yeah, I think just constant communication, staying on each other. I thought our big run in the third quarter just came from a lot of talk. Like I said, just playing the right way, active hands, energy. We were making mistakes defensively, but you couldn't tell by the way we were.
Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Allie Clifton, joined by the Hall of Famer, big game James Worthy, 5-time champ Derek Fisher, our Laker insider Mike Bresnahan. And guys, a tough one for the Lakers, whom find themselves at 500 yet again on the season, 21-21. And there's a lot of ways that you can look at this. A couple. Many will point to that third quarter alone, outscored 40-23, 4-0 run to close out the first, an 8-0 run to close out the second, a 5-0 run to close out the third. You saw the way in which the Kings finished the game. A reflection of attention to detail, execution when it mattered most. Fish, the Kings earned this one. They got the job done, avoided their 6th straight loss.
Yeah, and we were talking in the break room about finishing quarters and how important that is. And, with the numbers you just broke down, 4, 8, 5, pretty decent math student, that's 17-0 in about 6 minutes. And so it's not good enough at this level to play good and or decent basketball for 10 minutes and lose the last 2 minutes in that way. You wouldn't expect the younger, inexperienced team to finish quarters better and stronger than an experienced team like the Lakers. But as you said, the Kings did it tonight. They earned the win. No excuses. Got to tip your cap.
Yeah, a lot of times you think that, you're ahead going into halftime is a good thing. But sometimes when you lose that momentum war, in which the Lakers did, and they should have been there, third quarter where they came out and they had that momentum. The Lakers did not pay attention to details. It's the defense, points in the paint.
70.
Yeah.
70
points in the paint. And the fast break points as well. It's just it's not a good formula. We've been talking about how things they need to improve on, and they'll improve a little bit against poor teams, but then when these numbers and this type of habit continues over and over, that's something that's they haven't taken care of yet. It's surprisingly not taken care of.
Yeah, James, you talk about over and over. The Lakers have run into this before. Okay, they have 2 losses to OKC. They lost in a triple OT game to Sacramento already. They lost to Memphis last month with no Ja Morant or Dylan Brooks playing for the Grizzlies. That's 5 games where the Lakers were pretty heavily favored that they've lost. So what do you have? A team that's now 21-21. And they don't have many of these games left. That's the problem. They're going to be in Denver in a couple days. They come back here and they play Utah. Next weekend, they start the 6-game Grammy trip. That's going to take them through Philly, Brooklyn. They got Charlotte, a very up-and-coming team. Miami. They have some tough games coming up. And you feel like when they play a team like Sacramento, they fired the coach a month or so ago. They have all these young guys. They don't really know who's going to be there next season. The Lakers need to hang on to a 14-point lead against a team like this. James Fish, Allie, we've seen this pattern a lot this season. The Lakers lose yet again to a team that will not make the playoffs.
Losing, like you would say, Brez, winnable games. And guys, you think about that 4-game winning streak that they were on. You heard LeBron say up until that Grizzlies loss, things felt really good with the squad. They started to turn that corner. And then you now drop back-to-back games. What is the message? Because despite that of Anthony Davis, who is a big